Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. It's a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express. So the most important news and editorial of the day that is relevant for both prelims and mains examination perspective will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with the news topic list. Today is 27th of August. The first news that is achieving net zero target could boost India GDP. This is a report which was published. We'll see the detail about this. Second, Center pegs tribal district for TB intervention project, that is for the tuberculosis. Third, Vishnugarh project likely to face inquiry. Fourth, that is maritime security concern in Sri Lanka. And the last is an editorial from the Indian Express, that is Rbi Green challenge. Apart from the news and editorial discussion, at the end of this video, there will be MCQ based questions, and these questions will be based on current affair that will help you for the upcoming prelims examination. So without any further delay, let's get started. And before I start, those of you who are new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful for your examination, do not forget to press a like button. So starting the session with the first news, that is achieving net zero target could boost India's GDP. Something relevant for General Studies paper 2 under the topic bilateral regional grouping and agreement involving India and affecting India's interest. So recently a report was commissioned by the high level policy commissions on getting Asia to the net zero report, and it says that achieving net zero emissions by 2070, this is specifically for India, the committee has highlighted. So जितनी बातें कही गई इंडिया के बारे में बातें कही गई है, and it says that if India achieve net zero emission by 2070, it will boost the overall performance and 4.7% जो है overall growth जो इंडिया की GDP में वो और report की जाएगी. So that is above the projected baseline and the GDP by the term for 2036, and the total value for the this will be around 370 billions. Now India need around 10 trillion to accumulate economy wide investment to meet 2070 target. जो net zero emissions की target है उसके लिए इंडिया को 10.1 trillion के आसपास की जरूरत पड़ेगी in terms of many investments and even the things that is essentially required to chase the targets. Now, looking into the aspect of carbon emitters, अगर बात करें वर्ल्ड वाइड कौन सी कंट्री है जिनकी emissions कितनी ज़्यादा है CO2 लेवल पे. So China bagged the country first rank, followed by United States, then European Union countries, then we have India at number 4 and Russia. Right? So this data is again important. Contribution wise अगर बात करें इंडिया ने 2070 के लिए टारगेट्स रखी हुई है, बहुत कंट्रीज ने 2050 के लिए टारगेट रखी हुई है, राइट? And even it is important that India should achieve this target by this time, and the promises made should be fulfilled by country. Now, Government of India, खास करके Prime Minister की अगर बात करें, पंचामृत strategy की बात की गई थी during the COP26 meeting in Glasgow, where Prime Minister has addressed the meeting, and the Prime Minister has categorically noted that India will reach the non-fossil fuel capacity of 500 gigawatt by 2030. बहुत सारे ऐसे टारगेट्स हैं जो 2030 के लिए रखे गए हैं. कुछ टारगेट्स बेसिकली 2050 के लिए भी हैं, मैक्सिमम टारगेट 2030 के लिए, बाकी नेट जीरो एमिशंस के लिए 2070 के टारगेट्स. नाउ इंडिया विल मीट 50% of its energy requirement from the renewable energy by 2030. Again, this is the deadline. India will reduce the projected carbon emissions by 1 million tons, that is from now onwards till 2030. So this is what the three promises, the three important promises that was made by the Prime Minister. Other is that the India will reduce the carbon intensity in the economy by less than 45%, and by 2070 India will achieve the net zero emissions. तो ये कुछ 5 important ऐसे targets हैं जो Government of India ने Prime Minister ने set किए थे during the COP26 meeting. And these all target is very important for your mains examination. Those of you who will be appearing for mains, आपको ये पांचों points पता होने चाहिए. You should learn. You should just give the figures. These all 5 points are very important. Now about the high level policy commissions जिन्होंने अपनी report publish की है, उसके बारे में थोड़ा brief समझते हैं. The high level policy commission was launched in May, right? And the commission has 4 members. 4 member की committee है. फॉर्मर ऑस्ट्रेलियन जो प्राइम मिनिस्टर है केविन रुड इज अ मेंबर, फॉर्मर यूनाइटेड नेशन के जो सिक्योरिटी जनरल है बान की मून ही इज अ मेंबर, इंडिया की तरफ से नीति आयोग के जो चेयरमैन थे अरविंद पंगडिया ही वाज अगेन द मेंबर, एंड ग्लोबल हेड डायरेक्टर्स climate business international finance corporation Vivek Patel. So two Indian member is again the part of this high level policy commissions. And the report come ahead is pivotal because Asian leadership की बात करें, so India will be assuming the G20 presidency in 2023, and India will also be hosting basically अगर बात करें एशिया पैसिफिक ग्रुप की तो जी कोप 28 की भी मीटिंग होनी है, तो इस टाइम में ऐसे रिपोर्ट्स काफ़ी ज़्यादा अहम हो जाती हैं, इन इवन इफ यू राइटिंग इन मेंस पेपर स्पेसिफिकली तो आप इस तरह के इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स हाईलाइट कर सकते हैं. Now, merits of achieving net zero for India. Specifically, we are concerned about India and this topic. So, by net zero, it will bring notable benefits to India and its citizens. It will transit the net increase of employment opportunities, creating 15 million jobs beyond the baseline salary of 2047. Our household की अगर बात करें, household could save up to 9.7 billion in energy cost by 2060. So this is how the net zero emissions target are, basically if this target is met before in 2070 or like 65 or 60, this is going to help immensely India in achieving all its best possible targets. Now, India के लिए क्या roadmap है, how the things can be achieved. So India could have a decarbonizing using the carbon revenues and other domestic tax raising mechanism to fund the green investment. एक तरीका ये. दूसरा तरीका है leveraging international support, which would free up the domestic finance for the development. Poverty reductions, management of social impact, and helping mitigations and negative impact of the household for the higher prices and taxes. ये कुछ बहुत important recommendations हैं, and this can be important for your mains, specifically if you're writing in mains paper. This is going to help you and fetch extra marks. Now moving to the other news, Center pegged tribal districts for TB intervention project, something relevant for general studies paper 2, that is government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from a design and implementation. Although इसी paper 2 में यहाँ पे ये issues related to health may be important. So Ministry of Tribal and the Central TB Division of Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, they have selected 75 tribal districts which will focus on tuberculosis intervention, and it will run over the next month, जहाँ पे इंडिया में जो ये 75 ट्राइबल डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स जो सेलेक्ट की गई हैं उनको टीबी फ्री किया जाएगा. As a part of the campaign, 9,971 people who is tested positive were under placed for the treatment, and government ने ये कोशिश की है, that the move by the government is to have a door-to-door screening of almost 68,000 villages in the tribal districts. So government has given its proactive measures, its proactive role to ensure कि ये जो 35 basically जो total 75 है, just to correct it, there are total 75 number that government has selected. ये जो 75 districts हैं इनमें जितने भी tribal villages हैं उनमें स्क्रीनिंग की जाए और आइडेंटिफाई किया जाए कि किन किन लोगों को टीबी की प्रॉब्लम्स है. Now, campaign to detect the TB. The campaign to detect TB across 174 tribal districts in the states of Jharkhand, Odisha, Chhattisgarh, Assam, Gujarat, Telangana, and other states in this January was there with the Aswan campaign, which is under door-to-door screening that was done to cover almost 68,000 villages in our country. Now, official data की अगर बात करें 3.82 lakh people ऐसे हैं were identified with the presumptive TB, और एक verbal screening की गई जहाँ पे पाया गया that over 1.03 crore people in this village are basically have an infection of the tuberculosis. Now, community engagement की अगर बात करें, this is again very important in terms of ensuring that a general awareness for the people to the people is given. So, discussing the way forward, Ministry of Health और Tribal Affairs Ministry ने decide किया कि 3 prolonged strategy अपनाई जाएगी to increase the high, basically to address the high incidence of tuberculosis. ये जो 75 districts government ने identify किए हैं in 75 districts में. So 3 strategies was there. I'll tell you what are the strategies. Now, and government has also ensured कि 2025 तक ये सारे टीबी फ्री हो जाने चाहिए 75 डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स जो गवर्नमेंट ने नोटिफाई किए. Now, this includes the demand for the TV services engaging the community, which influencer like tribal leaders, tribal healers, and the PRI, that is the Panchayati Raj institution members. Self-help group or youth की अगर बात करें in the tribal areas who are expected to help and increase the awareness of TV. So this is a community engagement where a bottom-up approach from individual level to the village level, even for the district level to the state level, should be implemented so that we could get the highest possible success ratio. Now, Vishengarh project likely to face inquiry. Right? This is something relevant for General Studies paper 2, that is government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from a design and implementations. So an independent panel of the World Bank, this is again important. आपसे पूछा जा सकता है कि कौन सी पैनल थी. वर्ल्ड बैंक की पैनल है. An independent panel of World Bank is considering a play जहाँ पे जो रेसिडेंट हैं हार्ट विलेज के चमोली डिस्ट्रिक्ट उत्तराखंड के, उन्होंने कहा है कि एक इन्वायरमेंटल इन्वेस्टिगेशन होनी चाहिए जिस तरह से अंडर कंस्ट्रक्शन विशुनगढ़ पीपल कोटी हाइड्रो इलेक्ट्रिक प्रोजेक्ट को बेसिकली नुकसान पहुंचा था. एंड दिस प्रोजेक्ट हैज़ actually impacted a lot of the people were died during the construction activities. So अगर इस प्रोजेक्ट की बात करें 520 मेगावाट की तपोवन विशुनगढ़ हाइड्रो पावर प्रोजेक्ट है, that is being undertaken by the state run NTPC in the Dholiagang river in Uttarakhand. So this river and the name of the project also important for many other competitive examination. So the recent flash flood in the Rishi Ganga river caused the glacier burst and that has lost almost 60% of the completed construction work in the Vishnugad People Koti Hydro project. तो जो पूरी कंस्ट्रक्शन हुई थी उसमें 60% of construction पूरी तरह से destroy हो गए by this glacial blast, right? And both the incident around 70% of the overall project was completed. तो पूरी प्रोजेक्ट की अगर बात करें, पूरी प्रोजेक्ट में 70% प्रोजेक्ट कंप्लीट थी और इस 70% में 60% डिस्ट्रॉय हो गई बिकॉज ऑफ द ग्लेशियर बस्ट. Now, the project previously suffered the damage in 2030 due to glacial burst in the rainy village also. Now, the map work become important here. आपसे पूछा जा सकता है map work से related सवाल. You can see this is the power plant and this is the Alaknanda river here, right? And this is the barricade site with all Tapovan site, with the one place which is there. आप यहाँ पे important जो जोशीमठ के जैसे areas हैं, even for other areas. दिस इज इम्पॉर्टेंट कि आप मैप वर्क देख लें. उत्तरांचल से रिलेटेड कई बार मैप वर्क भी इंपॉर्टेंट होते हैं. इफ यू आर अपेयरिंग फॉर स्टेट PCS फॉर उत्तराखंड, दिस इज गोइंग टू बी रेलेवेंट फॉर एग्जामिनेशन. नाउ कंसर्न रेज्ड बाय लोकल्स, द रेसिडेंट ऑफ द चमोली डिस्ट्रिक्ट दैट इज इन उत्तराखंड have complained about the musk dumping dam theatres for the local Lakshmi Narayan temple that deems to be the historical and cultural importance for the आर्कियोलॉजिकल सर्वे ऑफ इंडिया. ये एक इम्पॉर्टेंट साइट मानी जाती है वहाँ पे और इस वजह से भी जो लोकल के सेंटिमेंट्स हैं वो भी वहाँ पे जुड़े हुए हैं. नाउ द कंप्लेंट्स कंप्राइजेस 83 कम्युनिटी मेंबर्स दैट हैज द इकोलॉजिकल डैमेज प्रोजेक्ट दैट हैज काउज्ड द फोर्स ऑफ रीसेटलमेंट, लॉस ऑफ लाइफ एंड द अमाउंट ऑफ कंपनसेशन ऑफर्ड was inadequate. तो जो compensations भी दिए गए गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से was not adequate. So the protest has also been arisen because of the compensation issues, right? Now, moving to the other news, that is the maritime security concern in Sri Lanka, something relevant for General Studies paper 2. This is important for paper 2, not for paper 3, right? India and its neighborhood relations. So, amid the sign of India's disappointment over the Sri Lanka decision to allow Chinese vessel in its dock, that is the Hambantota port, तो श्रीलंका के इन्वॉय ने इंडिया से ये रिक्वेस्ट किया दैट द न्यू फ्रेमवर्क ऑन हाउ डील शुड बी डन. और मैरिटाइम सिक्योरिटी के जो कंसर्न है वो दोनों कंट्रीज इक्वली एड्रेस करें, म्यूचुअली उसके जो सॉल्यूशंस हैं उसके तरफ आगे बढ़े, राइट? बट इंडिया वाज वोकल इन दिस पार्ट दैट चाइनीज वेसल को अलाउ नहीं करना था श्रीलंका. Now, recently, the China satellite tracking vessel Wanwang-5 has arrived in the Sri Lanka South Hambantota port. मैंने आपके साथ मैप में भी डिस्कस किया है इसको, आप उस वीडियो को रेफर कर सकते हैं if you want. But despite India, the US is voicing its concern over Sri Lanka and the military ship visit by China. नाउ इंडिया श्रीलंका कॉपरेशंस की अगर बात करें, बेसिकली जो श्रीलंका के इनोवॉय थे उन्होंने कहा कि अब टाइम है कि हम अपने कॉपरेशंस पे ध्यान दें, जो बिजनेस कॉपरेशंस हैं उस पर ध्यान दें. तो श्रीलंका envoy in India, without commenting on the ME advisory, he said the future ties between this country is very important, particularly for India Sri Lanka cooperation on economic and strategic affairs. Right? तो apart from economic assistance जो इंडिया ने दी है श्रीलंका को $3.8 billion की, which also include the line of credit, right? तो both countries ने और ट्रेड की बात की है, पावर शेयरिंग की बात की है, पावर ग्रिड शेयरिंग की बात की है, infrastructure project in renewable energy and oil storage. So these are the agreement possibly can be established between India and Sri Lanka. And India has also supported Sri Lanka in talks with the IMF for a bailout package, because जिस तरह से सिचुएशन खराब हुई थी श्रीलंका में, उनके इंडिपेंडेंस के बाद वर्स्ट इकोनॉमिक क्राइसिस विटनेस की गई थी, तो उस टाइम पे IMF ने भी बेसिकली ज़्यादा पिच नहीं किया उनको बेल आउट देने के लिए. बट आफ्टर इंडियाज बैकिंग, इंडिया सेड दैट विल सपोर्ट यू in getting the bailout package from the IMF. Now, objections by India, कुछ objections ऐसे हैं जो इंडिया ने basically concern raise की है. The government of India last month convinced that the concern over the docking of the ship is believed to have a satellite research and surveillance vessel. इस वजह से भी concern, मैं आपको बताऊंगा इंडिया के major concern क्या है इस Chinese vessel को लेकर के. Now, before that, the Sri Lanka government has asked China to defer the sea plan and early after the objections, but Chinese government ने कहा they have only agreed to delay the arrival. उन्होंने अपने arrival को delay किया था, but eventually जो dock है वो 16 to 22 तक वहाँ के हमनबोटा port पे थी. The Colombo port handles 60% of India transit shipment cargo. So this is again a factual point that you can take a note of. Now, क्या ऐसे कारण है? What are the reason that India is concerned and the ship should not be there? So the ship that is Wong Wang 5, ये names जो आप important रखे हैं आपके लिए, not for UPSC, for many other competitive examination, आप इस नाम को जरूर ध्यान रखें. It has sensor that can track India's ballistic missile if they are tested, and India test its missile at Abdul Kalam Island off coast of Odisha. Right? तो इस वजह से इंडिया ने concern raise की है कि वो vessel श्रीलंका अपने हमनबोटा पोर्ट पे अलाउ ना करे. Now, Wong Wang 5 also carry out the oceanic survey that can facilitate the submarine cooperation in the Indian Ocean. So these were some of the most possible reasons that India has raised concern that these vessels should not be reaching out. But ultimately, things has happened, and the concern was raised by India. It was not adequately addressed, although it was delayed, but the final attempt was made by China. Moving to the editorial of the day, that is RBI Green Challenge. This is relevant for General Studies Paper 3, that is Indian Economy and Issues Related to Planning, Mobilization, Resource Growth and Development. So the theme of this editorial is the inclusion of climate change in the policy, and I'll be simplifying this editorial by 5 important subheads, that is the best practices and approaches, नेटवर्क फॉर ग्रीनिंग फाइनेंशियल सिस्टम, एक काफ़ी इंपॉर्टेंट है आपके प्रीलिम्स पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से भी. आरबीआई के रिसर्च पेपर क्या है, करंट की और पुरानी वाली भी. आरबीआई चेंज इन द पॉलिसीज, क्लाइमेट चेंज के रिगार्डिंग क्या आरबीआई ने पॉलिसी चेंज की है, और एनालिसिस ऑफ द आरबीआई रिपोर्ट. सो बात करें जिस तरह से रिपरकशंस हो रही है खास करके हमारे इन्वायरमेंट को, और एक लेगेसी ऑफ इमिशंस चली आ रही है, नॉट फ्रॉम ओनली फ्रॉम सिंगल कंट्री बट ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड. The entire country, the gamut of the country is responsible for it, right? So there's a growing pressures to achieve the climate compatible growth. ऐसी growth जो climate compatible हो, industries ऐसी भी ना सेट की जाए जो हमारे environment के लिए detrimental. So financial and monetary authorities will have to obtain the cognizant feedback from the climate change and the economy to adopt the suitable policy responses. Now, exposure of assets or extreme weather event, the loss of the value of the green transitions are the imminent risk to the financial system of our country, right? तो environment और financial risk के जो relations हैं वो काफ़ी evident है इस editorial में. अब कुछ best practices की अगर बात करें, central bank adopted a range of best practices and approach. कुछ अगर countries की बात करें तो Bank of Lebanon set different reserve requirement for their loan linked to the energy saving. उसके बाद जो बैंक people of China है, they have offered a positive incentives for extending their green credit, and India include the renewable energy within the priority sector lending. तो इंडिया की अगर बात करें जो PSL है, प्रायोरिटी सेक्टर लेंडिंग, उसके अंदर बेनिफिट्स दी जाती है रिन्यूएबल एनर्जीज। नाउ नेटवर्किंग फॉर ग्रीन फाइनेंशियल सिस्टम, समथिंग वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर प्रीलिम्स एग्जामिनेशन। इंडिया ने बेसिकली RBI की अगर बात करें, RBI ने रिसेंटली ज्वाइन किया है नेटवर्क फॉर ग्रीनिंग एंड फाइनेंशियल सिस्टम NGFS को, एंड इट्स अ वॉरेंटियल ग्रुप जहाँ पे 116 सेंट्रल बैंक हैं, शेयर करते हैं बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस टू डेवलप्ड इन्वायरमेंट एंड अ क्लाइमेट रिस्क मैनेजमेंट और फाइनेंशियल सेक्टर से रिलेटेड। Now, it also seeks to mobilize the mainstream finance to support the transition towards a sustainable economy. Now, RBI के रिसर्च पेपर है इन्वायरमेंट और फाइनेंशियल खास करके जो कंसर्न है उसको लेकर, तो RBI के रिसर्च पेपर ने इंडिकेट किया दैट द इंटरेस्ट इन अंडरस्टैंडिंग द डिग्री ऑफ फिजिकल एंड ट्रांजिशन विद द रिस्क। सो RBI की जो अप्रोच है दैट इज रीजन दैट सिंस एक्नॉलेजमेंट ऑफ रिस्क इज अ डबल एजेड शॉर्ड, राइट। और इस पेपर में RBI ने अलाउ किया दैट RBI allows RBI to respond based on the existing practices for better understanding the risk profile of the bank। तो बैंक की जो रिस्क प्रोफाइल है उसके समझ के बाद बेसिकली फाइनेंसेस की इशू भी काफ़ी ज़्यादा है, राइट। सो इट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट द RBI to respond based on the existing practice and better understand of the risk profile of the bank as well। Now, कुछ पुराने रिसर्च पेपर में ये इंडिकेट की गई दैट द ग्रोइंग एक्नॉलेजमेंट फॉर द रिस्क फॉर द फाइनेंशियल सिस्टम इज अगेन हैड टू बी टेकन विद अ नोट। और RBI ने अपने रिसर्च पेपर में डेमोन्स्ट्रेट किया कि जो एक्सट्रीम वेदर है उसके काफ़ी प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, राइट। इट एलिवेट एक्सट्रीम वेदर से इन्फ्लेशन कैसे बढ़ेगी अगर प्रोडक्शंस नहीं होगी इंडिया में, अगर बेसिकली प्रॉपर मानसून नहीं होती है तो कहीं ना कहीं उसकी इम्पैक्ट ओवरऑल प्रोडक्शंस पे होती है। प्रोडक्शंस कम होगी तो इन्फ्लेशन ऑटोमेटिकली बढ़ेगी, राइट। दैट वाज demonstrated with the wheat prices this year, and RBI estimated that the exposures to Indian bank to the green transitions, right, and the report found that the direct exposure of public and private bank to the fossil fuel, that is electricity, chemical and automobile, may not be alarming at this point of time। Now climate change में RBI की किस तरह की policies हैं और RBI क्या envision कर रही है। So the inclusion of the climate change in the central bank policies has a wider contested issues। तो कुछ experts ने इस पे अपने opinion देना जाहिर करना, basically they do not have even asked the bank to set the monetary policies based on such assessment। So it is upon the prerogative of RBI that how it is going to decide। And on the other urge, the climate change is significant threat to the financial stability, जहाँ पे RBI does not address the climate risk, failing to do its job। Because see, in India, again, the role of the RBI is not something that they should be focusing on environment part, but considering the fact that this is the need of the hour, RBI has to play a very exclusive role in this, right? Analysis of RBI report की अगर बात करें, both report जो publish की गई need to have further comprehensive risk assessment, और इसमें ऐड करने की जरूरत है कि जो public borrowings हैं that have declined fossil fuel revenue from the needs to establish, right? And while the wheels are turning with the RBI disclosures risk assessment of framework की जरूरत है, you should start with this। And RBI consultation paper shows the bank inclinations to address the risk from the climate change, right? So India में this is something new, a new concept that has arisen, and even for all the bank family, they are looking forward an inclination to address this problem, and it indicated that the regulatory changes are in offering yet again in the directions remain unknown, and the release paper is therefore only beginning and require overall net zero plan for the disclosures to use it objectively। तो ये जो प्लान अभी रिसेंट में RBI के रिसर्च पेपर्स के थ्रू पब्लिश हुई हैं, ये एक रोड मैप डिसाइड करती है कि किस तरह से हमें आगे बढ़ना है to overcome the plan of net zeros and even all the pollutions and even for the sustainability of the environment with the finances. So this has to be taken into considerations, and RBI can definitely be a game changer in this aspect, right? So this is what the report has basically highlighted. Now moving to the MCQ questions of the day. Before I proceed, just to tell you the answers of yesterday questions. For first question, the correct option is C. For second question, the correct option is C again. Today's MCQ for practice आपको बताना है करप्शन परसेप्शन इंडेक्स के बारे में. CPI रिलीज की जाती है बाय करप्शन इराडिकेशन कमीशन, और इंडिया की जो रैंक है वो बेसिकली प्लेस 6 प्लेस कम हुई, 86 कंट्रीज ऑन द CPI. सो डू चेक इट आउट फॉर द करेक्ट ऑप्शन. सेकंड इज न्यू अम्ब्रेला एंटिटीज के बारे में बताना है. ऐसे एंटिटीज जो ओन और कंट्रोल लेते हैं इंडियन सिटीजन के द्वारा, उनको ही परमिशंस हैं कि वो प्रमोटर्स बन पाएंगे, एंड नो फॉरेन इन्वेस्टमेंट इन अलाउड इन द एग्जिस्टिंग गाइडलाइन. So do check it out for the correct option. If you know the correct answer, it's well and good. If not, you have to find for the correct options. This was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis, followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, you can let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.